What if I told you that I have upgraded or replaced every single possible light on my Toyota Tacoma? In today's video, I'm going to show you what they are, how I use them, how I like them, and where you can find them too. Stick around. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, consider getting subscribed, smash that like button, leave me a little comment in the description box below. I make sure to answer every single comment that gets left on my videos. And then, like I said, today's video I'm going to be discussing lights, every single light that I've replaced or upgraded on my 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. I'm filming in my car today or in my truck rather, because it's been extremely windy and I've been having trouble with audio. Some of my last videos got the better of me, and so I decided I went out and filmed some B-roll for you guys, so you get a lot of that to look forward to in this video. But I'm gonna be filming in the Tacoma. So let's start out with the basics. I think the thing that people always ask about the most, probably out the gate earlier on, is going to be headlights and taillights. I have both the Alpharex Lux headlights and the Alpharex Lux taillights. The reason I have both of them is twofold. My truck is a 2018. This is pre-2020, when the headlights kind of looked like this to begin with. For a lot of stock vehicles these days, at least up until when the third generation ended, you got headlights that kind of looked similar. So for me, the initial reason I got these headlights is not only to bring the truck up to date in a kind of how it looks perspective, but also because I needed the performance. The halogen bulbs in the stock 2018 and before third gens were absolutely terrible. It was crazy to me that back then this truck had like only halogen bulbs. There was nothing LED on it. Whereas after 2020, I think 2020 to 2023, everyone got aftermarket or headlights that were very similar to these aftermarket headlights. These are full LED. They are not projectors, and they basically match, Alpharex basically matched what the 2020 plus Tacoma was running. And so not only do I get upgraded performance out of my headlights, but I also have a brighter LED. I do have, stronger high beams. And of course, from a safety perspective at night, we all want to see a little bit more, so that helps a lot too. When it comes to taillights, the 2018, which is what this truck is, had bright red taillights. The backup lights or reverse lights were also halogen, not very bright, especially when you pair it with the OEM non-JBL head unit that I had. The whole point of reverse lights is to create a beam of, light behind you, and I'll get to this a little bit later, but these taillights rather had LED reverse lights, and to this day, they are so bright. They are so nice and super easy to kind of see with your, your head unit, but also easy when you just look around the outside and look in your rear view or side view mirror to what's behind you. So that goes a long way as well. So both of these are from Alpharex, partially a cosmetic upgrade since my truck is a little bit older, but ultimately they are a performance upgrade in terms of lighting and safety. They are sequential in the front, non-sequential in the rear, although Alpharex does have a sequential taillight that they now offer. A lot of times when I'm going over modifications that I have on my truck specifically, you'll notice that there are better versions, and that's usually because when I put the truck together, so to speak, they didn't have that model yet. And so I was working within my parameters to kind of, outfit it the best I could, but then the progression of the aftermarket caught up, and eventually, now there's also a better version. So Alpharex, check them out if you're interested in either of these headlights or these taillights. They're definitely a good pick. I love the Alpharex taillights. They're all blacked out, as you can see, or have you seen before. I stick with the tan and black theme throughout my truck. And actually the headlights are also the Alpha Black version. So the inside of the headlight is actually painted black instead of chrome. Get rid of all the chrome. All right, so we covered headlights and taillights. Next, I'm going to move on to fog lights and turn signals. Initially, when I had the truck almost bone stock, I replaced the factory fog lights with these KC G4 fogs. The cool thing about these fog lights is that they do not appear amber in nature. What I mean by that is that they're rear projection, meaning the light actually shoots backwards into the housing and then projects out. So when you're looking at them, they just look chrome or black. They kind of mix in with the look of the truck really nicely. And then when you turn them on, they are a true amber DOT approved fog light, which I love. So I've had those on for almost 5 years now since I got the truck. One of my first upgrades. They fit into the stock bumper. They wire straight into your factory fog light switch on your steering wheel stock. And I've recently, since I upgraded to the CBI T3 front bumper, had them retrofitted and modified them ever so slightly to make sure that they fit in there. But those have been great. I love that they're DOT approved. I can run them on the road and they provide plenty of coverage, especially when it's foggy or raining. And they definitely outperform the stock ones. On the side view mirrors, those are mainly a cosmetic upgrade. Yes, they're brighter. Yes, they are sequential. And yes, they look awesome. I do have one that's fading on the passenger side, so you won't see that in this video. But these were an upgrade that I did fairly early on as well. So if you're kind of prioritizing what lights you want to do first, you can kind of do that with this section, because I think the fog lamps and the turn signals will go a long way. I will sprinkle in the Raptor lights here. You'll see that I have them on the front bumper. I have 4 of them in the grille. This is my second set. And honestly, if you like Raptor lights, you like them. If you don't, you don't. Honestly, I have the smoked version. So when the Raptor lights are not on, you don't know that I have them, which I love. They don't have like the little orange case or housing on them. So that's great. I upgraded to these, the 4-pack, when my 3-pack kind of fell apart. And I just did that to kind of, fill a space on my switch panel. And I think they look really cool. The original ones fit the true amber color a little bit better. They're from Running for Tacos. These ones, I don't remember where I got them. So if you like them, I'll link almost everything that I'm talking about today in the description below so you guys can find them. But they're very inexpensive and it's just like a cosmetic coolness factor. Whether that's your cup of tea or not, I'm not here to judge. I have them. Do I use them? No. Will I likely take them off at some point soon? Yes, unless I can find the 3-pack again from Running for Tacos, which they're always out of stock of. I'll probably add those back on because I think the 3-pack looked really good. And like I said, the amber matched perfectly. Like I said at the beginning, when it comes to LED lighting, there was none when I first got my truck. So 2 things that I did upgrade, one out of necessity and the other just for looks, is going to be both the interior lighting and my license plate lighting. License plate bulbs are super inexpensive. You can probably get a pair for under 20 bucks, under 10 bucks if you're not concerned about quality. I don't remember where I got them. I believe I got them from Tacoma Beast's website. And they have lasted years at this point. They have never failed. They've never become corroded, water damaged. They don't start flickering. They're great, but they're really just a cosmetic upgrade. But like I said at the very beginning of this video, I've upgraded almost every single light on this vehicle for better or for worse. So the license plate bulbs, really just a personal choice. But then when it came to the interior, it was all halogen bulbs. And so what I did is I upgraded to the Miso Custom dimmable light switch panel, I guess you could call it. It's a LED array that basically is small little cubes and then a larger array in the back seat for the dome light. I can't tell you how much light this puts out. If I remember later this evening, I will film a clip of the interior, but it is so bright. It's so bright. It takes a little bit getting used to, but it changes everything. When you're in the car in the evening and you're just trying to do something, fiddling it around, it's just such a huge benefit to being able to actually see what you're doing in your vehicle at night, as opposed to the dim kind of mood lighting, as I would like to call it, that comes stock in these vehicles. Miso Customs shortly after, similar to with the taillights, did come out with a version 2 where you can actually change between both clear or white light and red light, which is super helpful in terms of how to mitigate and reduce loss of vision at camp or at night. So that's a really cool option. Miso Customs has a whole bunch of different products that they usually make to order or in small batches, so I'll link their website down below so you can check them out. But I think for day-to-day, quality of life, so to speak, these interior lights have been awesome. I take them for granted now, but they're such a huge game changer. They're so bright, they're so sleek, love the design. So if you're interested in a pair of those or a set for both the dome light and the kind of center console light, like I said, I'll link them down below. But yeah, those have been awesome. This next light goes overlooked way too much, and the reason is you can only really see them at night. They are my KC Cyclone rock lights. I actually have them wired into my little jellyfish launcher button, which controls the lights basically in the tailgate. And basically I have it set to door open as it would come stock. And so every time I open the door, the rock lights will illuminate, and then I have a place to kind of see what's around me, what's under the vehicle, and it's super helpful. Obviously the rock lights are super handy to have when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, but the real reason I have them, and as they're wired into the jellyfish launcher, is that I can turn them on and off whenever I want. They're not necessarily wired into the switch panel, but they are wired in and tapped into that fuse, and so I'm able to turn them on the trail as things get dark. It makes it really nice to be able to spot yourself, lean out the window and see what's around you. I have mine tapped into the wheel well, so it makes it way easier to navigate where you're going when off-road or on a dirt trail, or if you end up having sort of like an issue with the truck, suspension clunks, anything like that, it does provide enough illumination where you can see everything under the wheel well, suspension, sometimes even the light spreads far enough under the truck where you can actually create a lit workspace for trail repairs. So that's super nice to have. All right, you guys, I saved the best for last, and I think there's a reason. I am going to talk to you about, of course, my off-road lights. Those are going to be my ditch lights, my bumper mounted light bar, and my roof mounted light bar. I know that there's tons of different options you can choose for on the market today, but I actually work with a brand called Extreme LED. They're a small brand out of Colorado, and these lights have been amazing. This is my second set, or pairing as I could call it, of both the ditch lights, the lower light bar in the bumper, and the light bar on top. I happen to currently be running the X6S Slimline series for the light bars. In the lower section, I have a completely amber light bar that really helps to cut through dust and dirt. And in certain conditions, when I was driving through Utah, I even was able to open those up on some sort of like OHV off-road roads, and it creates a lot more visibility downrange. The top light bar, like the surface of the sun, that's a 44-inch light bar that maxes out the total capacity of my Sherpa Peak Grand Teton roof rack. And that is actually nice because I can control both the amber and the clear versions of the light bar. So if I want to run full amber, lower bumper, and just the amber sides on the top, I can do that. And I do that on a lot of trails, also for, just caution for other people who are on trails. We did that on the last trail in Mammoth Lakes. If you missed that one, it's about 2 videos back. You can go check that out. But it's nice to actually provide some extra light so that people can see you coming. I can actually make them strobe if I really wanted to. So it's in more than one way a nice feature to have. But of course, what would they be if they didn't do well at night? And these do extremely well at night. They provide, I think it's overkill even for me, the amount of light that it produces. But of course, there are tons of other lights that are even brighter. So for someone like me that you guys know does just like mainly weekend warrior stuff, I do a lot of trails, some camping. These are awesome. They're a great bang for the buck. Supporting a small business is kind of what I'm all about. So if you're interested in any of these extreme LED lights, I'll leave a link down in the description box below. But yeah, I have both of the, I think they're called the stacker pods in amber, and those are a flood beam. Up on top, I have a flood spot combo, spot being the clear light that comes out the center. Like I said, that thing just shoots. And then I have the 2 amber floods and the amber flood light bar in the front bumper. Overall, it's a really nice package. I think every single light, maybe with the exception of those Raptor lights, like I said, I could do without. but I think if you're looking to build an overland rig like I set out to build this rig almost to the point of where it is today about 7 years ago, then these may be a awesome choice for you and a light that you'd like to consider. And if you're looking for first-hand advice from someone who's been rocking these specific lights for almost 3 years now, I can tell you that the build quality is there, the light projection quality is there. Sure, you could drop, $2,000 to $3,000 on some Baja designs, but honestly, if you're rocking Bajas, you better be using those suckers every single week. These are a fraction of the cost and basically get the job done. So there's just a lot of different things that you could kind of consider with all of these lights, really. With the headlights, there's other options. With the, off-road lights, there's other options. With the, Miso Customs, both interior and turn signal lights, there's other options. So you definitely need to consider all of your options, but I wanted to share with you guys what I had and how I use them, if I like them. Hopefully in this video I'm conveying that, I'm quite a big fan of almost everything I put on the truck. I've done a little bit of trial and error over the years, and I've gotten to the point where it makes the most sense for me now. All right, so I was making this video and I did realize I've replaced all but one light on the entire vehicle, and that is the light, the backup light, the reverse light that's in the truck bed. It's hidden behind my Rome Adventure Co. rooftop tent, so I never see it, I don't use it, I don't reap the benefits of that light being there. People will offer like options of a blacked out version or an LED version or an integrated Baja Designs version, but I still have it there. It's stock. I had a recall on it years ago for leaking, and I never got around to it. Mine never leaked, so I never replaced it, and I don't see it, so I never replaced it. So if you want to fault me for one thing in this entire video, it's that I told you I replaced every single light. I didn't replace that one. And if you can for some reason think of any other light that I didn't replace, let me know down in the comments below. But I'm talking about replacing lights or upgrading lights. I'm not saying add an underglow under your seat or anything like that. That's a caveat you could add as well, but I wouldn't include that in this video. All right, you guys, there we have it. That was really a let's talk video about lights. Everything about lights on the entire truck. Everything I've replaced, everything I've upgraded, most of which has been on here for the entirety of this truck's life. Like I said in my last video, this truck's 7 years old. It's a 2018. I've outfitted it and kind of upgraded it as I went, and it does resemble, maybe even a 2023 Quicksand Tacoma, but that's not the case. This truck is much older. I've had to kind of modernize it in many ways, and over the course of that modernization, I've also made some improvements in terms of off-road lighting, rock lights, turn signals, things of that nature. But Let's Talk is really just about talking to you all, riffing off the top of the cuff. There's no script today. I'm just kind of going through this and we're just kind of talking about it. So at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince you of one brand versus the other. This is really just to show you guys what's on the truck. And like I said, show you how I brought it into I guess the 2025s and beyond, being such an old vehicle. So if you have any questions about any of the lights, any concerns, any criticisms really, which seems to happen a lot in some of my videos, let me know in the comments section down below. I'll be having more Let's Talk videos coming in the very near future. I have a whole list piled up, and if you're curious to know what Let's Talk is, Let's Talk is a open podcast style, no script forum style video where I go over wheels, tires, suspension, lighting today, and so forth. There's a few videos further back where I kind of give like a more in-depth, breakdown of how I thought of this whole Let's Talk kind of theory, but hopefully I'll be able to get back on track and start making more of those, because I know it's been a few weeks since I've done a Let's Talk video. And you can hear that I'm starting to ramble, and that's kind of the beauty of it. I like to just be able to talk with you guys and kind of get a sense of where you all are at with your builds and let you kind of tell me what you want to tell me. Ask me the questions you want to ask me, because that's what I'm here for. I would love to appeal to you all and pass down the knowledge that I have. I wouldn't consider myself a professional, by no means, but I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I want to be able to share that with everyone, on top of the fact that I love making YouTube videos. So if you're new here, if you're new here consider getting subscribed, smash that like button down below, leave a comment down below, and until next time, enjoy the ride.